over 2.5 years, was able to go to portfolio of around £1.7 million.
Here we are again with another episode of Real Life Transformational Tuesday. This is where we bring you the people from the Real Life Tribe who have transformed truly their life. So really looking forward to doing this, Warren, with you. Well, it didn't seem that long ago we was actually going around some of your properties actually and doing a bit of a Q&A, working out what you were going to do with them. So thanks for coming and joining us on this show.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back. I'm always pleased to be around you guys. So it always feels good.
Good. So just before we delve into it, just give us the time, the stats, the results on what you've been able to achieve on your transformation.
So over 2.5 years, was able to go to portfolio of around £1.7 million. We have some rent-to-rents as well. So some properties that we don't own that we still control. So we have over 40 units now.
Beautiful, very good. So just give us the highlights then of like who was Warren as a kid growing up and what got you to the point where you say, right, I want to invest in property or start that journey.
Growing up, I was an engineer for 15 years and I have 2 children as well. So I'm married as well. And through living that sort of lifestyle of working all different kinds of shifts each week, and that going on for months and years, decades even, and not really feeling progress financially, mentally, in different aspects of my life. I just didn't feel like I was progressing, and certainly not financially. That was a big one. So those were kind of the turning points there. I think I've seen something like a Grant Cardone video or something like that, and he was talking about buying a house and living in it was the worst investment ever. And I thought, whoa, that can't be right. What is this guy talking about? This must be clickbait. So yeah, I clicked on it, listened to it, and actually it kind of made sense. And that was the turning point, I suppose, from then on, because at that point then I went down a wormhole of video after video after video. I basically started looking at free training, if you like, of trying to find out all these these strategies that were available here in the UK that I was not aware about before. All I knew was buy to let. So all this rent to rent and buy, refurb, refinance and lease option agreements and serviced accommodation was just all alien to me. I had no idea it existed. So I just continued down that wormhole non-stop actually until I started to find yourself.
Wow, good. And how did that happen?
It was another tribe member who reached out to me, Sam LG. And he also worked at the same company that I worked at. So it was a time when we were still full-time employment. I think we were in some of the same groups, some of the same Facebook groups that were all property related, and kind of reached out from there. Conversation started, kind of introduced me to you guys direct. And I was just blown away by all the results that people seem to be getting. I was kind of scratching my head thinking, okay, I understand these strategies now. This is what's possible. But how are these guys building portfolios of over 1 million, 2, 3 and 4 in such a short space of time? That was mind-blowing to me at the beginning.
Yeah, beautiful, good. So, okay, you came across us. I remember seeing you at the event. You stood up and you were taking action in some of the processes and the finding the deals and all of the raising of the finance. That was good. So that was like 2019, right?
2019, I joined before I even went to a 2-day event. 2019, I joined in the December, and then February, I went to my first event.
Yeah. So what did you start doing? Like, what property deals did you start off with? What was your first strategy?
I started off with rent to rent. I thought it fitted me at the time. I didn't really have a lot of funds to start with. I had 0 funds to start with. I didn't think I would be able to raise funds in that sort of way. And I kind of had maybe a hand in to some landlords. So it was kind of an easy stepping stone for me to start with rent to rent. So that was the first strategy started with.
Good. And how did that go for you? Like, how many units did you pick up and what did you start to make happen before you started diversifying?
Well, we're still in rent to rent now, sort of 3 years on. So there's been challenges, and you learn as you go along. I did as much training as I could before I even started my first one. But then once you're surrounded and in sort of a better environment, that sort of really pushed me on. But at the time we started 5 units, and then we took on 2 4-beds. And then we took on a 6-bed. Over time, some of them didn't perform as best as we projected, and some have performed really well.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's what's obviously part of the transformation, which we would kind of want to discuss as well. But once you did that and you settled in with that strategy, like I know you've been doing some other deals, purchases, some HMOs, things like that. What else have you been up to?
Yeah, so after or during the rent to rent, or during building that portfolio, we started to get coaching from real life coaches there who helped me push myself into purchasing myself, which I never thought I'd be able to do. It was understanding a lot of things at the same time, and it was a lot to take in, but my coach kind of pushed me through. We was able to raise finance, which I'd never thought I'd be able to do. We was able to purchase 3-bed property and turn that into a 6-bed all-en-suite HMO, refinance successfully and pulled money out as well. So, and that was our first deal. So that was crazy. And that was in COVID.
Yeah.
In fact, all of this was through COVID.
Yeah. So what were some of the biggest challenges in going through all of this and getting to where you are today?
Some of the biggest challenges, we experienced some builders who went way over time, which then costs us money, right? So I suppose the biggest learning there would be to do as much due diligence as you can on your builders.
So what would you say is like your biggest turning point or the biggest transformation that you've gone through that's enabled you to now like keep rocking this portfolio?
Wow, that's a really good question. There's so many, but I think the biggest for me personally was understanding an entrepreneur and understanding money in a different way and having a different mindset. Because for 20 years, I'd worked in a job, working shifts, get paid once a month. I had nothing business minded or entrepreneur about myself. So that shift was huge, but it was understanding the money side of it and how money really worked. There was another side of money that I just didn't understand or even know about. That was a huge mind shift. We had a lot of support here as well from my wife here, who's going to join us in the call.
Yeah, bring her in, Rachel. Yeah, good to see you.
Hello.
Good to have you. So we're kind of almost all the way through this transformation, but let's hear from you. Like, what do you think the biggest transformation has been for you guys as a family unit? I know you guys have recently moved house as well, but like, what were some of the changes you guys made as you were going through this property journey?
I think a lot of it is to do with mindset. A hell of a lot of it. When we first started it, you know, Warren had an idea, and as always, I try and support him with those ideas at the beginning. I was kind of a bit like, oh, what is this? Once we started exploring it and going into it, it just opened up a whole new world. And like you say, not only just with the property, but the mindset side of it as well. And we teach it now to the children, so they're growing up to be better people. And yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and it's just the beginning. So
cool. So what is it like being part of the tribe, and you know this whole transformation? You're now teaching it with the kids. I know you brought your kids to some of the WEC events that we've done as well. You know, so how has that helped in your transformation?
Surrounding yourself with the right people, isn't it? And the tribe are all of that and everything. You know, it's like having an extended family.
The tribe, the community that we've got, the tribe, it's rare because everybody wants you to win.
Rachel, let me ask you, did you know that Warren and your oldest son Jaden were like football superstars? Did you know that?
Yeah,
they won this thing, winners.
Hey.
So yeah, here we go. So yeah, I played a massive part in a charity football match that we did recently as well. That's pretty cool. You get to hang around with all the other amazing people that obviously doing well in property as well. So let me ask you this, guys, right, if you're from both of you, like if there's people out there that might have put a good shift in for a long time, maybe they've bought their house and they're doing half decent, doing well, but they're thinking maybe there's a little bit more to life. Maybe I want more money. Maybe I can, do more with the money I got or the equity in my house. What would your advice be to these people?
If they're asking those questions, my message to them would be find support. Find people who are on similar missions to yourself or looking to do similar things to you that you're wanting to do. And that's what we did. And our mind was blown by the amount of opportunities that we was able to then explore. We would never have known that without reaching out for support and just asking the right question.
Yeah, I agree. Finding those like-minded people, like Warren said, and just searching out there for what there is, and come and join Real Life. That's the best one. Come over here. But yeah, definitely putting yourself in the right environment if you're wanting to go and do something with that is the most important thing, I think.
Nice, brilliant. So as you know, we have a saying in our community that says you've got to do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
It's the
Only way to discover your true potential.